Good evening. Welcome to the live stream. Sorry, I'm a little late. I'm working a little slow, but welcome tonight to the live stream. It is good to see you guys. At least I'm pretending I can see you. I can see you in the chat. I can look at you in the camera. But in reality, as I look around the room, all the monitors have me in them because I'm seeing what you're seeing. So let me just tell you right up the beginning of the show. My name is Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm wearing a rare T-shirt. My heart is it called Hurley? Bought one of these for my son a while back, and it was too big for him, so I'm wearing it. And so sporting a tee tonight. It is the last week of August, and things are getting away from us when it comes to summer here in the state of Washington. Just a matter of days, it will be September, and obviously then September is followed by October. Have a lot of things planned this fall, and we're going to talk about those tonight. Actually need your help tonight. We're going to build an outline with your help, so we'll talk about that here shortly. We're going to talk about my camera tribe. I've never really spent a bunch of time highlighting the camera kit that I have. I do have two cameras that will not be available because I had to put them back up tonight in order to do the live stream. So obviously I call this the Tony Quick Tech Solutions camera. It's a little out of whack tonight because I took it all down and it needs adjusted, but there you go. But we're going to spend most of the night on this angle, and I will be showing you some things behind me. I have two of my camera cases. One is a Pelican, and the other case is a Nanook case, and we're going to take a look at those. I have the mobile camera right here. It's not SRT. It is HDMI that cuts down the latency, and I can cut, let's see, that is in channel 4. I can cut to that and give you guys a tour. So we'll be looking at these cases here tonight in just a few minutes, that case there and that case there. And then I have this camera mounted, and I have this camera mounted. So looking back at yourself in tonight's live stream. So we're going to be talking about those two cases. We're going to talk about Canon cameras that I have, kind of my tribe, and I've touched on it before, but we're going to spend a little time on it tonight. Got the Skycam right there in view tonight. So again, I took all the cameras out, did all those photographs, and if you haven't really peered into that photograph, let me go back to this, and I'll drop this on the screen tonight. I took this photograph this morning, and so there is my little tribe of Canon stuff. So 7 lenses, 3 flashes, 3 cameras, and we'll talk about those 3 cameras tonight. But I got that still image just ready tonight so that we could drop that in so you guys can see that. So we're gonna spend a little time on that, and then we're also going to put together a outline for my upcoming ATEM Mini Extreme ISO getting started video. I've done a bunch of recording. I'm not sure exactly I'm gonna keep all that stuff. What I really want to do tonight is pick your brain a little bit tonight in the chat and ask you maybe some topics that you would like to see covered in my Extreme ISO getting started video. I did the ATEM Mini Pro getting started as one big hour-and-a-half video, and that is my top performing video right now on my channel. And if I have any ad money coming in, it comes in predominantly from that video, and I really have been talking about doing an extreme video for a while. And I'll talk about why I haven't done that extreme video here in a little bit when we get to that. but I want to save that for later. Let's say hi to everybody tonight that's in the chat so far. So let's put the chat on the air. And I think tonight, Tony jumped into the first row. It's good to have you, Tony, tonight. And thank you for taking the first row. Now, I have to admit, when Hank said this, oh, my chat is off here today. Let me fix this. Oh, come on. Things have been just giving me issues tonight. There we go. So when Hank said this, I thought, wow, these are really, really small rows. So hi to you as well, Hank. Stop and think. And so, yeah. So he's sitting in the second row right behind Quick Tech Solutions. So please take your hat off. This is to Tony so he can see better. So it's good to have you. And then I noticed after him, Grish came in and said, hi, everyone. So it's good to have you, Grish, as well. The music here, yeah. David is in the house. David Osler from Down Under. Craig is in the house. I greet you, Craig. It's always great to have you. Joe is here from Tech for Fun, says hello, Keith. And Doug is here tonight. It's good to have you, Doug, as well. We have Chio here tonight. And yes, it is a casual Tuesday. T-shirt, haircut, good attitude. Studio's ready to go, sort of. But yeah. So let me know if this microphone is too hot tonight. It looks like it's pushing the red as I get excited. So let me know. Obviously, that doesn't translate through the preamps of a extreme ISO, but it's definitely showing that it's going in the red on my Rodecaster Pro. So let me know if audio is 5x5. So again, tonight we have two parts. Part one, we're going to talk about my Canon Tribe that I've been a part of. Part two, I need your help to build an outline for my new video series called Getting Started with Extreme ISO, ATEM Extreme ISO. And I was working on a new still image right before we went live, and right now it is not opening. Let's see if we can get this to open. Let me switch mics here just 1 second. I'm now on the lav mic. And I think I forgot to save this file, so we'll just bypass that, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's see if anybody else has jumped in the chat. They'll go back here and cover some of these questions or comments. Let's see here. I said to Tony, you have a great seat. Already talked about one chair in a row is a little small. I need to expand the studio so you guys can sit, more people can sit in the front row. Chris says windy today. Well, it's a little windy outside today. Chris says hit record. So I did just now hit record. And I noticed that this has been stopping in the middle of recording it. So we'll take a look tonight. And if that stops recording, let me know in the chat. Chris says the audio sounds good. Microphone is good. Only thing that's hot is what's behind the mic. Wow. Winky, winky to you too, Joe. And Joe says hit record as well. Okay, so not a lot of people here tonight, but the important people are here. And Ernesto is in the house as well. So hi, Ernesto. So tonight we're going to talk about my Canon Tribe. We're going to put together an outline for a new video series I'm coming up. And I'm going to put a lozenge in. Get back onto my nicer of the two mics, the SM7B, and actually put a second SM7B on my list. Actually, it's going to probably move to one of the top parts in my part of my list. I want to start a podcast, audio podcast. I'll probably do a video as well. So we're going to be talking about that. That's going to happen this fall. I have been motivated by a couple of clients of mine who are doing podcasts, and hoping to have one of them on the show here in the next 2-3 weeks. I'll keep you posted on that. His podcast launched on Friday last week, and got a chance to watch it. Did a really good job for first podcast, and it's a video and audio podcast. And so I'll be sharing more about that in the weeks to come, and hoping to have this particular person on the live stream. You have not met him, so that should be fun. Grish said, I heard the ATEMs can randomly stop recording due to the SSD not keeping up to something. Yeah, it could be. I'm not doing ISO files, so all it's got to do is record one H.264 file. So don't know why it's stopping, but it is. Tony says, hi, sorry I'm late. Had something to take care of before joining. Well, we didn't know you were not here, Tony, because you jumped in the first row early. So I just want to remind you, Tony, that Hank is telling you to make sure that you take your hat off in the front row so he can see over you from the back row. So a little humor from earlier tonight. Yeah, so I am wearing a t-shirt tonight. And thank you guys. I feel good in black, look good in black. So that just confirms it. So thank you. Chris says, like fast SSDs can bursty in terms of write speed, but not consistent. Trips up to the ATEM. Blackmagic has a recommended SSD less. Yes, Blackmagic does. And that's pretty easy to find on the Blackmagic site. And thank you, Tony, for taking your hat off. There you go, Hank. You can clear your eyes and see what's going on tonight. So last week, I fully intended to be live. I apologize. I was not live last week. I put a still image up on Tuesday morning that said I would be back tonight, and I kept my promise. I am here. I went on a trip into Idaho with a good friend of mine, same guy that I do the tents with. He was speaking in Genesee, Idaho. It is about halfway between Lewiston and Clarkston in Idaho. And his wife was out of town. She was actually in a country called Honduras. And she was speaking at a giant women's conference. And so my friend invited me to go. I said, absolutely. It was quite an experience. We'll talk more about that. I hope to have Drew on the show this fall as well. I am planning on having 2 or 3 guests this fall. So get yourself ready. Don't miss a Tuesday or you're going to miss some fun stuff. I'm kind of tired of just sitting here and talking to the camera and doing my traditional live stream. So we are going to have some guests. And the topic that I will be having with Drew is that I took my first long distance ride in a Tesla. So it was about 3-hour drive to Genesee, Idaho from here in Richland, Washington. I met him in a little town called West Richland, which is just on the other side of Richland, on the west side. And so anyway, we met early in the morning and we drove. And when you head out to Idaho, you don't have any Tesla fast chargers. So the experience was quite fun. And he had an event that he needed to be back for at 6 o'clock here in the Tri-Cities. And we arrived back in West Richland at about 7:05. So I hope to talk about that story. It was quite the experience to go on a journey in a 100% electric car. And so not a topic that I'd normally even think of for this channel, but it would be quite fascinating. So when we do that, we will have the car parked in the driveway. We will give you guys a tour of the car, and we'll figure out how to do that, probably with my ATEM Mini Pro in the garage, all hooked up. So... But anyway, I woke up last Monday after our trip to Idaho, and it was like the sky had fallen. My chest was congested. My throat was sore. My sinuses were compacted, and that's enough about that. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was wondering where I went because I could not find the normal Keith. And then Friday morning, I woke up, and it was almost like I was in a dark tunnel and I could see the end of the tunnel coming. And I got super excited because for those 4 straight days, I pretty well felt not too well. So that's why we didn't do the live stream last Tuesday. I fully intended to do a live stream. We were going to talk about tonight's topics. So we are a week behind. So I need to do some catching up because I do have a list of things I want to cover before all the news turns to other things here in the United States. And most of you will know what we're talking about in November here in the United States. So I want to do a lot of that in preparation for that election season and have some guests on and give you guys some behind the scenes looks at some of the clients I've been working with and their podcasts that they're doing. And so if you don't know, I do work with Zoom consulting around the United States and around the world, wherever I can. And I also offer a free consult. The link is not in the chat or in the description yet tonight, but I will drop that in. That's just a link to my website. And people reach out to me quite a bit with questions through that link. Sometimes we end up having a Zoom face-to-face. Other times I just answer the questions. I had a question this week. Someone was having trouble with 2 HyperDecks and couldn't get it to read the file. So obviously I answered that question and I haven't heard back yet from that person. So I'm still a little under the weather, but I'm definitely not in that dark tunnel anymore. But I don't know how much voice I have. So we will take it easy. And the challenge with live streaming is that I don't have anybody else here to stop and listen to them. I am doing all the talking. So we'll try to get a good hour in tonight. We're already at 15 minutes in. We said hi to everybody in the chat, except for Kilmia Jones, Kilmy Jones. Hey, thanks for all the help you gave me over the years. You're welcome. Big from Olympia, Washington. Cool. Well, if that's where you're from, thank you so much for joining me tonight and joining us tonight. That is really, really cool. Good to have you here. Joe says, if that's why you missed the stream, you can run out of power in Tesla. No, we were back Sunday evening. Obviously, now you know that I was not feeling good. So life journey's gone green. No, I don't own the Tesla. It's not my Tesla. I am putting gas in my car on a regular basis, and it's not as cheap as it used to be. That should be the title. Life journey goes green. You saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, I did, Joe. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So I promise you 2 more minutes we'll be into our subject tonight on my Canon Tribe, but I want to comment on that. When you are under the weather, whatever it is, obviously we've had a lot of things going around, especially in the Northwest around where I'm at. I have probably 25 friends in the last 3 weeks that have been sick. Some of them, friends and family, been sick. And I was doing really well. Haven't been eating as healthy as I have been over the year. Lots of little things going on in the Bennett tribe. But tonight we're going to be talking about my Canon tribe. And so when you are not feeling good like that, it's almost like normal just gets away from you. It's like it was in your hands and then it slips away. And it's hard for you to concentrate. It's hard for me to concentrate. It's hard for me to do anything. I pretty much sat around the house. I pretty well cook for myself. My wife's a midwife, so we take turns cooking. So we basically take care of each other during the day. And then at night, one of us cooks. And I didn't do any cooking. First 3 days, I couldn't really even watch television. I watched a little TV, but it had to be something that really didn't take any thought process at all. So yeah, I do. I have lots of friends, Joe. I work on it all the time. I wouldn't say they're my inner circle friends. I have about 5 people in my inner circle, but lots of people I get a chance to see. I really do believe 2 are better than 1, and that's why I'm married. And outside of my marriage, I tell my wife all the time that you need to hang out with other midwives so you get a chance to talk about the things you need to talk about. And she does that. She has a couple assistants, and she gets a chance to go to classes for further education. We've done some YouTube videos, her podcast. And so it's really good to stay connected with people. So like that trip to Genesee with my good friend Drew, it was fun to just have a conversation about stuff. He's kind of new to my world. We've been friends now for just a little over 2 years. And so it wouldn't be part of those 5 inner circle people that I'd normally list, but pretty much we've been doing a lot of things together this last year. So my inner circle is getting larger, and that's cool to have. And so, Joe, I hope you can continue to expand your circle of friends. And I consider lots of you guys who are here live each week as friends. I wish we could be face-to-face more than just on the camera. But some of you have been journeying with me over for 2 years, and that is really cool. Okay, one other thing I want to say. Let's do this. Bring this over here. And let's do me and my laptop like this. So if I click on help right here and about, you're going to see that I am running ATEM Software Control 9.6.1. This update came out today. So we're going to take a look at this real quick and why I updated this afternoon. So I had to reboot my laptop in the update. So let me open this up again. So here is the update. It is dated today right here. Let's make this a little larger so you guys can see it better. Then if you click on this read more, it's going to tell you here that bug fixes for the ATEM streaming bridge fixes an issue where the 3 HyperDeck streaming quality settings were unavailable. I've had that issue. I think it went away. I thought it went away when I updated to 9.5.1, but evidently it's there. And that is the quality of recording inside the control software. So if you wanted to do a higher end control or a higher end recording, like if you're doing a video for upload and you're using your ISO tracks or inputs to record those, and you don't want to do regular streaming high like I'm doing right now. So I'm streaming high right now. But a lot of times when I record my videos, like my new Extreme ISO series, I record at HyperDeck high. And so it said that that was missing. General performance issues, those are the system requirements for Mac, for Windows, additional information. And they don't always put all the updates. There was not a firmware update. I checked it. So about 2 hours ago, less than 2 hours ago, I updated my PC and my laptop to the new 9.6.1. So just want to let everybody know that is out. I was going to change the still image, but I added a little blurb on there saying today's update. So I'll fix that tonight. I'm going to change the still image for tonight and put a timestamp here. So that's what's updated. It's not a big update like 9.5 that had a firmware update or 9.5.1, but now we're up to 9.6.1 with the ATEM software control. I don't know why they call it one thing in the product panel, and then if you go to the software itself, find my mouse here. Says ATEM Software Control. And then if you go to their website, it's called the ATEM Switcher. So Blackmagic Design needs to get their semantics together so people aren't confused, because you're going to go looking for the ATEM Software Control updates, and you're not going to be in there looking for the ATEM switcher 9.6.1. So update your control software if you are interested in making sure that everything is working right with both the HyperDecks and the HyperDeck recording levels, and then streaming bridge issues are solved as well with this. So now there may be a firmware update for my streaming bridge. I did not test that, so make sure you check your streaming bridge as well. Okay, so let's do this. Let me change this input. Go to Super Source, Box 2, and I am going to change Box 2 to that input right there. So there's tonight's drink. And let me go back to my lapel mic. And I'm going to rotate around here. Let's change box 1 to that camera. And there is my Canon 5D Mark III. So let's change the lights here. So this is a great little camera. Give you a close up here. This is the EOS 5D. This is the Mark III. There it is right there. This is my first camera. And I bought this predominantly to do photography. And this has right now the 16 to 35 L lens. It's got image stabilization, ultrasonic. So there is the switches right here. Let's get the focus, and don't you dare pull my mic off. Try that again. So there's the image stabilization. It is on, and then there's the autofocus, and it's on manual. I don't know why. So I was messing with these this morning when I was shooting those photographs. So this is my original case for my 5D Mark III, and I cut these out. This is a Pelican, I think 935 case. It's got some nice rubber wheels on it. And this camera with a 16 or a 24 to 70, it just drops right in there. And then I always have an extra lens here, so I drop my 100 in. I've got my Canon Flashes. We're going to open this up in a minute. And then I have a bunch of chargers in here. These are just regular battery chargers. But when I travel with this case, I drop my Canon battery chargers in there. And this is a Canon battery type. So I'll open that up as well. Got these little covers. Here's the Canon batteries. So, nicely batteries. I have a bunch of these, and the charger's not in my case right now, but this is the official Canon battery. And I think I have a Canon knockoff in here as well. And this is a knockoff Canon battery. No, this is a legit Canon battery as well. So I have some of those knockoffs floating around, but there's two of those. So I can pop that in my Canon. So let's pull it out here. And they're all pretty similar how the batteries go in. This little plastic release lets them pop back out, and there's a spring in there. And then if you're gonna do a dummy battery, there's this little rubber deal here because this is a water resilient camera. So you close that, but because this is normally my third camera here in the studio, and you can see right there it is missing. So there's no camera there because that's where this one normally mounts. But so now we can turn it on, and this is what the dial looks like. So you have the auto, P, TV, AV, M. So M is manual, AV is going to choose your aperture, TV is you're going to be your shutter speed, program mode is just a basic mode, and this is another mode I rarely use anything but these three, P, TV, and AV, and manual. Bulb mode is for taking long exposures, and then I can program C1, C2, and C3 to be whatever settings. Obviously, you got a powered shoe mount that we'll put the flash on there in a minute. Then there's the readout, and then it's got the LCD screen, and I've got a protector on the back. So we fire this up. That battery's dead. Stand by. Let's grab one that's not dead here. We need to charge those for sure. Okay. Take the lens cap off. So there is the readout on the top. You can see how that plays out. It's got it set for auto white balance. That's the shutter speed, aperture 6.3. So it shows you all of the details there. And then you have the screen on the back. And this is not a touch screen. This is my Canon 5D Mark III. So if I want to hit the info button, which is right here, I can get all the readouts. Hit a menu button, then you have all these menus, and then you have this little dial right here. And this was not a cheap camera. It was about $2,500 when I bought it. But you got all these different menus. And so there is a white card that I used on a shoot for a promo video right there. And can scroll through these photographs just by using the wheel. Some pictures I took. That's Grace Matus. She's been on the show before. So, got zoom. You can rate the shots. You can hit play if it's a video. You can put things in the trash. So again, they're nice cameras. There's lots of options. Take a look at the front. And all kinds of buttons on the back, and I don't intend to go through everything, but again, you have this little toggle, and then you have the wheel, and you have the set, and then you have the Q button, and if I push Q, you can see that you get some of these settings. Protect images enabled. So again, there's the rating for stars. It's on video mode right now, so if I flip it over, now it is on photo mode. So there's those settings. Turn Q off. Some of that goes off, turns info on, it comes back on again. And it's telling me that I don't have any discs in, and I do. I have 2 discs. This and my 5D Mark IV takes 2 cards. So that's one of my cards, 128 gigabyte computer bay. And then it also takes the regular SD cards. That's a 256, pretty wore out. So they are in there. There's the screen. And again, the menu system. And the menu system does change when you go between video mode and camera mode. So that's the 5D Mark III, and that's the only camera I have that I can really play around with tonight. So I went from the 5D Mark III to the 5D Mark IV, and I'll flip around here. This is my EOS R, but this is, oops, I'm gonna spill my coffee. Almost spilled. Reach around here. There is my 5D Mark IV, and it will do 4K. Let's go in tighter to that. 5D Mark IV, and it will do 4K. And that is really nice to have because of being able to record out of it or in it 4K and then use that for getting still images if I'm shooting an event. I just want to roll that camera. My EOS R will just out of HDMI. This is my most recent camera. This one will out of the HDMI port, you can actually bring 4K out and record 4K. So I have it going into a splitter, and one of these goes into my HyperDeck, so I can record 4K out of this. So if I ever want to record 4K out of that camera, I'm able to do that by using the HDMI out. Now tonight, when you were watching me on that camera, you're only seeing HD, you're not seeing 4K, but I could do 4K. So I have 3 Canon cameras, and I like them. They're not lightweight. They're pretty heavy. Let's change back to that wide shot. They are pretty heavy. And you can see the size of it in my hand. And like again, I have the 16-35 on it right now. Down in the case down here, I have my big 70-200. I have my 85 in the case and my 50 mil in the case. And then, like I said, my 100 mil is up there. And then my other 2 lenses are being used tonight. I have a 24-70 as well as a 24-105, and both of those are mounted on the 2 cameras tonight for the live stream. So love these cameras, lots of money invested in this and the glass. And so my survey question tonight, you can see on the screen, is really to ask you guys to respond to this question. And that is, on the screen here, I'm going to open it up. So have you changed camera manufacturers after starting to shoot with another branded kit? So I have the Canon 5D Mark III, the 5D Mark IV Canon, the Canon EOS R. All of my lenses are EF lenses. They're not the RF lenses, which go with the new EOS Rs. So I have to use an adapter on my EOS R. And I've never changed to another major camera manufacturer after I invested all that money in the kit. And so what I wanted to ask you guys tonight is, have you changed? Have you ever gone from another kit to a new kit? I'm 63, but I didn't really get into photography until after I was well in my 40s, I believe. I think I bought my Canon 5D Mark III. So I'm only talking about 25 years or so of history, maybe less, because I'm 63 now. So I see that 46 of you say yes, 54% no. But please, if you have not answered the poll tonight, please answer. I have 13 votes. So hopefully everybody will answer that because I'm really curious. So my point of bringing this whole topic up was to ask that question, because I have been debating. I've seen some great cameras come out. In fact, if you go back up here and let's go back up here. Did I say hi to you, DJ Ware? Hi, how's it going, DJ Ware? Let's see, let's go back up here and find him. David has a lot of stuff on his channel about Sony. And so I've watched a lot of his videos, and there's a lot of great Sony cameras. I have customers that I have recommended the A6400, and they've installed it. I have another client that has Lumix cameras. They already had one. We were going to go to two and add an ATEM Mini Pro, which we did. And so they are now recording to their ATEM Mini Pro. They don't live stream from it, but they're using two Lumix cameras. And we even bought a MIDI-controlled little gimbal, electronic gimbal for the second camera so they can change shots right from their recording booth. So, but my dad had a Minolta when I was a kid, so I did some film shooting with my dad's camera. My wife and I have had lots of different points and shoots. I think not only did I have a higher end video camera from Panasonic, but I also had a little point and shoot Sony camera. I think we had a Panasonic camera. So I'm just curious of the brands that you guys all are shooting. I've asked this question before, but what's your primary camera brand right now that you're using either in your studio or you're using to do photography? And if you want to know more about Sony, then pop over to David's channel and watch some of his videos. He is a professional photographer and has a channel about photography, and he has lots of videos on new lenses being released, not just Sony lenses, but other lenses that will go with a Sony camera. So shout out to David from Australia. So check that out. Okay, let's go back in the chat and we'll clear that. Ian Vanderpool, wow, you have some serious gear. Love that. Well, thank you. Welcome tonight to the live stream. Marine X, thanks for the advice. Big Dog, I figured out how to link 3 HyperDeck Studio Plus via time code. Now I pump out content way faster. Next, I need to learn Blackmagic cloud devices. Yeah, so as we get into the second topic tonight, and we're going to get there here pretty quickly, I want to talk about flashes here just for a second, because if you do any photography, in fact, let's grab it. I have 3 of these Canon Flashes. This one I put batteries on, so get your eyes ready, because I am going to flash you, so you can tell everybody tonight that Keith flashed the audience. Gotcha. So this is my Canon 430 EX2. So this is version 2. They have another version of this. But I love these flashes. I have 3 of them. 2 of them I have the little feet that go on the bottom so you can just stand it up. And I have some remotes so I can do some shooting. I even have a light meter that has Pocket Wizard remote control capabilities so I can set them and flash these. And so occasionally I do photography for friends for homes that they're selling, and so I'll use 3 flashes and then I can set these off and get a photograph, or I can do multiple photographs and piece it together later in Photoshop. But usually when I'm just doing it for friends, I'm gonna just position my flashes where I need them, take a number of shots, adjust them so I don't have to do anything in post, so I can light up all the dark areas. Plus I can expose so that you can see out the windows if there's a window in the shot. So these can be set to ETTL, which is going to automatically detect the light. They can be set to manual. You can adjust those. And normally if I am adjusting these manually, it's going to be with the remote controls. And again, I have a Pocket Wizard kit, so they just attach to the bottom of the flashes, and then you can set these up around the room on stands, or you can set them up on their little feet. Then I can use the remote controls to set them and get the flash the way I want to. But these just pop on the camera, and we've never talked about flashes before here on my channel. So just pops on the camera. It's got a little tightening knob right there. And then I like to do a lot of bounce flashing. What does that mean? That means that I'm gonna shoot, if I'm in a house that's got white ceilings, I'm gonna bounce the light off of the roof. And if I can get it pretty much in between, then I can get a pretty good key light on the person. And sometimes I'll even bounce side light. And I have some soft boxes that go over top of these as well, believe it or not. And maybe one of these nights I'll bring them out. So make this light even bigger, and then I can shape that and aim that. And I've done a lot of shooting with flashes before. So once you have everything set up, then you take a shot. And I have multiple shots on here, so let me change that. Single shot. Let me enable flash. Yeah, I am a little lost on this camera because I never shoot this camera anymore. I always take my 5D Mark IV out. I have it all preset and all the menus set to where I can do that. So I notice the flash settings are all whacked up inside of this, but okay, had HDR mode on, so now once you take the first flash shot, then it's automatically detecting the light. So there's the picture. So good exposure. And again, flashes are great because if you're in a dark area or you're shooting a bunch of people, then you can actually use one flash. You can do a softbox on it. But the other thing, the other thing that's really cool is that then you can have flashes off your camera and be able to set them up and use things like pocket wizards or wireless control. And then I have 3 Einstein lights as well. They're more flashes for doing portraits and business photographs, and they're a higher end, larger wattage flash. And so I can shoot a whole group of people. I can shoot indoors or outdoors. I can shoot outdoors with these as well, but you're not gonna overcome the sun with a flash like this. You can fill in shadows. You can bounce this light outside, maybe off of a wall, but just keep in mind that this is not gonna outpower the sun. And then these flashes have a little bit of extra boost right here that flips out, and it actually, it senses when this is out or not. And it'll also even sense the lens. It reads the lens that's on the camera, so it knows how wide to shoot the flash. So this is automatically adjusting width right now. It's adjusting. You saw that. And let me turn that off. I won't burn out the battery. So flashes are a good thing to have in your kit. You never know when you're going to be somewhere where you need to take a photograph, or all of a sudden it gets dark, or it's after hours, you're out on the water and you want to get a shot, then you have a flash and with you, and you can just put the batteries in it. I never leave the batteries in the flashes, but I always keep a fresh set of batteries in my case. And and I always charge before I go shooting. So these 2 batteries that have been in the case, I would have charged those last night if I was going to be shooting tonight. So I like these cameras. The 5D Mark III and 5D Mark IV have 2 discs in it, so you can record to both of them at the same time if you're doing video or photography. I could put JPEGs on one disc and my RAW files on the other disc. You use the RAW so you can do a lot of photo retouching later because all the information is there, where JPEGs, really hard to do photo retouching because you'll just crush that JPEG compressed file, especially the blacks. It would just read this as one color, would throw away all the other gray levels on my shirt if it was a JPEG. So anytime you're trying to adjust the levels of black, these darker colors, it's going to keep a lot more information in my face, but it would pretty much throw out all the extra information unless it was a RAW file. And obviously RAW files are going to be way larger photograph files than you're going to have as a JPEG. So this will let me choose what size JPEGs, and it'll let me choose what size RAW files, and then I can bring those into Photoshop later, or other tools like Lightroom that's offered by Adobe, because I have the whole Adobe suite. So again, 1080p video, 30 frames per second, I think is the max on this. Let's just look real quick under the video settings. 5D Mark III, 1920, 30 frames per second max. It would do 60 at 1280, which is 720p. So older camera, really only good for 30 frames a second is the highest, 1080p, where you're gonna get 60 frames if you go to the 5D Mark IV, and then you're gonna get even other slow motion features as well, and also the EOS R, which will let you bring 4K outside of it, and you could use like an Atmos Ninja or some kind of recorder, or record directly to a HyperDeck that can record up to 4K 60 frames per second if that's what you want to get out of the EOS R. So 3 of these cameras, 7 different lenses. You can go back a few weeks ago, I did a whole video on my lens kit. 7 different lenses. I have an 85 mil, I have a 50 mil, 100 mil macro. Those are very expensive glass. I have a 24 to 70 or 24 to 200, and that's a 2.8. That's for shooting like sports and stuff like that if I'm pretty close. Obviously, if you're in a Seattle Seahawks stands, you're still going to need a longer lens than that, like a 400 or a 600, or if you can afford it, bigger than that. I have a 24 to 70, I already said, 24 to 105. Those are zoom lenses. 16 to 35, it's on here. And I think that's it. 7 lenses, 3 in the studio tonight, mounted to cameras, and 4 in the case. 100 mil, 24, or yeah, 70 to 200, 85 and 50. So those 4 are in the case tonight. And I'll show you this case real quick. So I'm not being a liar face here. Super source is what I want here. So let's switch back. So there is the 200, 70 to 200 right there. See all the settings upside down. Then I have the 50. I don't know why I put it in this way. I never do. But then that's the 85, sorry. Got it in here the wrong way. It's going to be hard to get out of there. And then here's the 50. And these are prime, which means they're not zooms. 50. And let's see if I can get this 85 out of here. Nope. I'm going to have to pry it out later. And then the 100 is right here in that case. So this case can fit a body right here. And then I have 3 of those Canon Flashes. And then this goes on the 85 and this goes on the 50. This lens cover for the 200 will not fit in the case. And then I have space here in my case. And this is the, the travel Pelican case. Again, it's got nice wheels on it. And then here's the Nanook case. And it's got nice wheels on it. 935 Nanook. And I remember this is, I forget what model of Pelican this is. This is kind of an upgraded 935. And they both have handles. So close this real quick. This has a handle right here. And the wheels. Love that. This will actually travel. I think it's small enough to go in an airplane. And then this Nanook case has the regular handle and then the pull-out handle, and I like it because it's got a little button right there to pull it out. And then there's the handle that's on that Nanook case. I have two of these cases and one of those cases, they're not, the other case is not in the room right now. I just have these two cases in here right now. So, okay. So that's enough on that. That's my Canon Tribe. The reason I want to talk about that tonight is mainly because I've been considering maybe adding a Sony ZV-1 or the new Canon M50, I believe it is, as downward cameras. I'm using my Insta360 Links right now, but I'd like to have a camera for on my desk that's a higher end camera. So I've been playing around with the idea. That camera probably isn't going to be the same brand as my Canons. Again, I have nothing wrong. I have no problem with all the other camera brands. I'm just really trying to figure out if I want to get something where I could use my same lenses. I have been keeping my eyes open for a used EOS R, and I found a couple. They're just too far away. I never drove for them, but I've seen them. I can pick them up for about anywhere from $980 to $1,200. It just depends on how many shots are on those cameras, but I would be using it predominantly for video or a second camera when I'm remote shooting. But I do really like the EOS R. It's lighter weight and it's easier to hold. It does not have the viewfinder, so it is a mirrorless. So there is no mirror viewfinder on the top, where the Canon 5D Mark IV and the Canon 5D Mark III are traditional mirrored cameras, and you have to use the little. Let me just fire this up so you guys can see this. Got to use the little fold-out LED screen for my EOS R. So there is my EOS R, and it's quite a bit smaller. And I have the adapter on, so I can get from RF to EF. So, and I have two of those adapters because I was prepared to buy another EOS R. So I already bought the adapter. It cost me $100. So I'll probably end up, my next camera will probably end up being the EOS R in all fairness, but it is what it is. So flashes, cameras, action. You know, you can use them for video. There's traditional video cameras available out there on the market. Like Blackmagic Design has their pocket cinema cameras. They have the bigger production cameras, Ursa and all that stuff, and those are predominantly video cameras. I do a lot of both photography and video stuff, so it's nice for me to have cameras that will do both. I really don't need 3 cameras. And so I've gone out and done jobs with my EOS R. I've gone out and done jobs with my Canon 5D Mark III, and I've gone out and done jobs with my Canon 5D Mark IV, just depending on where it is and which camera was easiest to grab when I was here in my studio. So 3 flashes, 3 cameras, 7 lenses, and then some Canon straps that I rarely have on. I have a separate strap that I use, and I even have a harness system when I go on cruises. If I want to take my camera, everything straps right here, and I can just grab the camera out of a harness and pull it out. Okay. So I want to move on tonight. Let's look at the chat. Let's see here. Tony says it would be good to get together and grab a beer. It'd be a blast to be able to come down your way. We're going to be going to Florida in January, but we're going all the way down to Fort Lauderdale and flying there and then going on a cruise. I will be there for a full day because we don't want to miss our ship. So, but that's quite a bit a ways still from you, but it would be really cool to hang out. Grish says lots of nice cameras. Thanks, Grish. Question, does the adapter impact the image coming into the sensor? No, the adapter has nothing to influence the image. So it's not like another piece of glass. All it does is adapt the electronics and the mount. So in reality, once you use that, the EOS R does have built into its design the ability to have one more control device to control the camera. So I bought, Canon has two adapters. They have one that has the other programmable wheel, and then they have one that doesn't have it. So if you want to have that extra control, then you'd have to grab that other adapter. It's $200 because the lenses that Canon has, they have more controls on them. So the RF lenses, you can control a ring for focus, you can control a ring for zoom, and another one for like either ISO or whatever else you could program it to. And so that adapter is available as well, and you can look those on Canon site. So if you do buy an EOS R, the RF lenses are higher quality, they have more features, and they're way more expensive. If you buy like the L glass, like I don't buy the cheaper Canon lenses, I just don't want to buy high-end cameras and then not buy really, really good quality glass. Part of my challenge tonight is I never change glasses, so we're going to do that right now. So for reading, down is good, but for looking up at the cameras and reading the chat on the monitors, it's not. And I like to read it on the monitor. So no picture degradation using those adapters, Grish. How can one get with you for some information? Okay, so being as you asked, on my website, which is life with an S, lifesjourneyproductions.com, you have the contact page. And I will grab this link right now and put it in the notes tonight. You fill out this form and you can request a free 1-hour Zoom consult. Or you could ask me questions this way. So I'll have your email if you pop it in there. And then I offer a one-time 1-hour free Zoom call. And so be happy to meet you. Gives me a chance to be face-to-face with the people here on my channel. And then I also have some consulting programs available. I even have programs for churches and nonprofits, as well as for-profit businesses, and all types of different ways that you can take advantage of my ability. A lot of my studios set up to be able to show things, because when I'm consulting, I need to be able to demo things. So that's why I'm constantly adding cameras, changing angles. That's why I have my prompter so I can look directly into it. So when I'm on a Zoom call, I'm like this, looking right into the prompter to my clients, and they're in my prompter, which is the Elgato prompter. It's all whack tonight and a little out of adjustment, but it is what it is. And I have different lighting settings to change camera angles here in the studio. So that is right here. So that is the link. So just fill out this form. You don't have to put a phone number if you don't want. You can just put your email, first, last name, and say, hey, Keith, I have some questions. Can we have a free 1-hour Zoom consult? Or if you are in the 3, 4, 5 city area around me, and you can drive here to the Tri-Cities, then we could go to our Country Mercantile, which is 5 minutes from my house. They have great food, great coffee, and we could chat right there face to face. I've even had people at times come to the studio. I do have clients meet here as well. So hopefully that answers your question, and we'll move on. DJ Ware says, I switched from Canon. It was film camera, but obviously that wasn't going to work for video. Yeah, obviously. And now we're all digital. I really did not own cameras other than little tiny point and shoot cameras when it was film. So my wife would do all the film developing. We would take our film to Costco and get it developed and pick them up. Costco is a big wholesale store here in the United States. So I have a video here on my channel. Mutzi, welcome. And so that is right here. Let's go to pop out chat on my YouTube channel. There you go. If you go to my channel or search for Keith Bennett, pop out chat, I have a series here on how I do that. So not going to demo that tonight. There's 5 steps to it. It's not as complicated as it may sound, but you can go and do this series on pop out chat. And I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos total. And it's in one of my playlists. So there should be a pop out chat playlist in here somewhere. So go check that out. I'm using a plugin that's available free in Chrome. And then I use OBS to bring that on the air. And I've talked about it here on the channel before, but that video series, the pop out chat, all I did is I went right here and said pop out chat. Hit enter, and then the videos pop up. So there you go. Watch away. Should be able to find part 1. And then there's a bonus video. Here's part 1. There you go. Free promo. So, anyway. Hope that answered your question. Enjoy those videos, like them, and share them with your friends. Started with a hybrid setup. YT with Canon SLR3 with Tokina lens for my main camera. Sony a6000 for top-down camera. 2024 switched my main camera to the Sony FX30 with a Sony 15mm lens. Yeah, and Tony did a video on that camera arriving. So go over to Quick Tech Solutions, find out about his camera videos as well. Yeah, it's Aaron Parecki's Chat Chrome extension plugin. Then you bring the web page into OBS. This is all true, so it's available on that video series. So okay, let's move on. Let's talk about this tonight. I need your help. This is not going to take long, but those of you that know the Blackmagic Design equipment, you know the Extreme ISO, the ATEM Mini Pro. One of the reasons I've been waiting so long and dragging my feet for my Extreme ISO series getting started isn't because I'm lazy. I kept hearing rumors that things were going to change, that we might finally see the update for the button on the front that's called Stinger. We have not seen that update yet, but we have seen new updates to the USB-C outs. We've been able to now record directly through the network. You can access your drives plugged into your ATEMs now through your network. You just have to enable that. There's new features available for multi-view. So I wanted a fresh video on the Extreme ISO for YouTube because so many things have changed since everybody else did their videos. So this is going to be a 2024 fall video, and it's going to be another one of those videos available on my channel free of charge. People can consume that, they can learn, and then hopefully I'll get a residual of clients, and obviously then my channel is monetized. We'll make a little bit money in advertisement, but trust me, it's not a lot. I think I got a check this month for 135 bucks. That was about, I think, 65 days. Then I'm also an Amazon associate, so sometimes when you use the links in the description, I get a few pennies on $1 maybe. I don't even know how that works, but okay, so we're going to go like this. I think I want to use this camera now. I want to cut to my lapel mic. Fix my hair. How do I look? This camera's a little whack, but it looks okay now. So this is my still image tonight, and this is one I was telling you guys about, that I added this August 2024 ATEM Software Control Update 9.6.1. So I'll be changing the still image tonight. You won't see this note inside my intro video, my outro video. They've already been pre-recorded, but that's what we're going to do. So what I want to do now is I want to go in here, click new. We're just going to do a print document here. Going to go like that. We're going to call this outline. And this is Adobe Illustrator. So Extreme ISO getting started. Let's put in the chat, guys, what are some topics that you feel like I need to cover in my Extreme ISO getting started video? Now, I will definitely be covering it outside of the box and showing you how to hook HDMI cables. I'll show the front and the back. But I'm talking about when we get into the classes, what topics do you guys think I should cover? I want you guys to be a part of this outline, and I am going to give a shout out to any of these things, any of these that make the video. So for instance, if you have a channel, a website, a call name, then I'm going to say thank you for so-and-so asking this question. We're going to cover that now in the video. Some of those might be little bonus things at the end if they're things that you haven't seen covered other places, but I want to hear right now what you guys have to say about this video series. So I don't have anything in the chat yet, so this segment is not going to be very much fun unless you guys help me out. So, topics. So, normally I would open with what's in the box. I don't have a box anymore, so I think I have some footage here on my channel unboxing one, so I will cut that footage in. So what's in the box? Normally I'd start, then I would usually say I'm getting started with hooking it up. So that would be things like cat cable, USB-C to PC or Mac. Then it would be HDMI, HyperDeck, key and fill. This is just getting it out of the box. Obviously, powering up. It's important. Audio options. Let's see, you guys have any feedback here yet? Yep, Tony, I am approaching 3,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Okay, so Tony says, how about hardware overview before physical connections? Yeah, so good job. What's in the box? Hardware overview. Tony, so give me a couple examples so I'm interpreting this right, Tony, of what you mean by hardware overview. Hardware overview. So obviously, spin it. Size. Mounting. This is one of my cheats. I use these door stops to set my extremes at an angle, so I just have industrial Velcro glued on here, and the other Velcro is glued on the bottom of it. So this would be one example of getting them at a better angle. Aaron Parecki also sells a case that you can actually mount and they're really good for like mobile shooting. I would use something like this in your studio because these are cheap. Just go down to Ace Hardware and buy yourself some door stops. You don't need, these are 5, I think, and a quarter. You only really need 4-inch or so for an extreme, and then you need even smaller ones. Come on, I know they're in here somewhere. There they are. Need these smaller ones when you're doing a HyperDeck. Let's cut to this other camera real quick. So smaller ones, but these are really short. You can see how long they are in my hand. And these you can buy at a hardware store. So these go on the ATEM Mini Pro, Pro ISO, Pro SDI, and then you go these bigger ones. Here's a side-by-side comparison if you're going to put them on. And again, they tilt it up. These are made for door stops, but they're the perfect shape. This is something I went in to solve in a hardware store, how I could have my ATEMs sit up at an angle I could see them better on my desk because they're on the back of my desk. And this works perfect. Works great for HyperDecks. So use these for HyperDecks and use these for extremes. Put my desk back together. Okay, back to this. Right? Okay, Tony said, basically what it is, show the I/O ports, the buttons, the functions, and all that stuff. Okay, I love that. Overview. Buttons. I/O ports. What it is, switcher. Okay. It's got to be more input than that. Come on, guys, help me out here. Any other questions that you would like to have answered in the extreme ISO getting started class? So I'm waiting patiently for some input. Did not think that would be this difficult. So we have 57 knows that you've changed camera manufacturers after having another branded kit. 43% now say they have changed, and that's 14 votes. So we're going to end up that poll here in a minute. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Waiting patiently to see if there's any other input on what you guys would like to see covered in that class. So, got lots of talk about cameras tonight. We're done with this. So, I can go make some dinner or get more feedback. I see more Tony feedback coming in. Tony, are you the only guy live with me now? Sorry, I'm a teacher at heart. So if you're doing a great or getting started class, you have to approach it from the point of view the viewer has really no knowledge, right? Yeah. And that's what my getting started videos are all about. So you couldn't have nailed that anymore. So no apologies. Any other questions about the extreme ISO? We have in our outline right now, so far, what's in the box, then hardware overview, the buttons, the I/O ports, what it is. It's a video switcher for live streaming. It uses H.264 codec to be able to encode the video for live streaming. They don't make the ATEM Mini anymore that doesn't do encoding, but they do make an STI model of it, I think. So they still make that one. So, okay, Gary User, thank you for joining us tonight in the live stream. And you said, be good to see switching from multiple cameras and views, automate the process, or better to use the Elgato Stream Deck. So, okay. So this is from Gary. Put some notes in here. Now I use, I think the best tool, not that I don't love Stream Decks, I have the large Stream Deck in my studio as well as the Stream Deck Plus, but I do all my switching from MixFX app on an iPad. Now it's not gonna work for Android, but it does work on the iPhone and the iPads, and you can go back, I think, to like the 5th generation, and the iPad minis will work. So I use MixFX, $49. Adam Tao designed it. I have a video here on my channel where Adam Tao came on my channel when he first came out with MixFX. And this I can run my HyperDecks. I can run Super Source if I have it on my device. And it's a great tool. But I will take that suggestion. Can use Companion to control a Stream Deck, and you can then create buttons. The advantage of a companion and Stream Deck is that you could be recording things outside of the world of the ATEM, like lights and different things like that, countdown clock. You could even put fonts on the screen and graphics on the screen, slideshows. You could use OBS and other software and automate all of that for the Stream Deck. But as far as switching cameras, I will add that to my video. So we'll do a companion basic switching in a Stream Deck. And this is okay. Anything else? Chio uses the companion app. That's cool. I am sorry. While I was listening to you, I also was playing Diablo 4. Yeah, okay. Wow, I have to compete with such a cool game. So, I don't play Diablo games because it reminds me of people I've met. Sorry. But I love real-time strategy games. And I have played the first version of Diablo before, and it did remind me of some people I've met. Okay, that's it. That's all the help I get tonight. I got Tony. I got Gary again. Thanks for joining us, Gary. If you can't chat with us tonight, it's because I have subscriber only enabled. All you got to do is subscribe, and within a minute, you can start chatting with us. If you hate the channel, unsubscribe. Perfectly fine with that. I'm not going to live or die on 3,000 and higher subscribers, but don't think I don't appreciate that, because I appreciate it immensely. And one day, hopefully, I can fully retire and just do videos, live streaming, have guests on my channel, and the ads and the consulting will pay for all of the other stuff, so I can just hang out here in the studio all the time. So, okay, I'm waiting. Here comes another one from Tony. You can go over stingers again for the extreme. Okay. That's from Chio Walker. Stingers again for the extreme. They also have the logo feature, where you can swipe across the screen in your transitions with the logo. I don't think I have it loaded right now, but I could. Go into the DV section. What happens if I transition right now? Okay. Let's load that logo. So you have that ability, but I have to pick another active camera. So I'm on that camera. So let's cut to that camera. What did I do? So you have that transition. So we'll cover that. Do that proper. Oh no, I popped that back in there. So, oh well. So you have to design a graphic like this in order for it to work. And it messes up my background. Let me change my background to a color here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, what did I do here? Art. Let's make it a color. There you go. Then when I do this transition, I made this graphic with an ATEM Pro at the top and Extreme on the bottom, and use the DVE. You can see the DVE is turned on right here, and then all the controls are right over here under transitions, under DVE. So you can play with this. There's also a logo button on the front of your ATEM, so you can choose Media Player 1 and Media Player 2. I'm obviously using Media Player 2 right now in order to do this crazy logo DVE transition. And this could be anything. It also could be a HyperDeck video, just playing right down the middle, so it could become some kind of swirly graphic, which would be really cool. So let's go back to regular Super Source. So Stinger again for Extreme. That is Chio. Tony says, while it's not for your first video, but I think a topic that gets ignored is explaining upstream keys and downstream keys, what they are, use case scenarios. Absolutely, Tony. Good job. So, Tony, Quick Tech Solutions. Upstream and downstream keys, what they are, and use case. Good one. Use the SSD or HyperDeck pros and cons for connecting in. Okay, I know what you're saying here, Gary. And the HyperDeck definitely has pros and cons, but it's still, in my opinion, the best tool for playing back video, animated graphics, and you just have to learn how to use it. You have to learn how to render videos for it. It definitely has a learning curve. So does an ATEM Mini, and HyperDeck's been around forever for ISO recording in the Blackmagic design world for video production. And now that you have ISO recordings built into Extreme ISO model, ATEM Mini Pro ISO model, the new decks that have recording built into them, the ISO deck, whatever that thing's called, the console. You don't need them for ISO recording, but you still need HyperDecks to play back video, though some of the newer models that are rack mounted have I think 650 frames that you can play. So now you can play back 650 frames of video. So it depends on what your frame rate. So if you're doing a live stream at 60 frames per second, then you're going to have a very short stinger that can go across the screen. So you don't have to have a HyperDeck to do some of those short play graphics, like a quick subscribe button or something like that. But you are limited. I could play a long play video on my HyperDeck. And so I still think HyperDecks are the way to go. Okay. Chio, DaVinci Resolve 19 added some free stinger templates, and I have been using them with my HyperDeck and ATEM Mini Pro. That's good information. So Chio Walker has let us know that DaVinci Resolve 19, which I believe is still in beta. So if you download the beta version, it has some templates in there for stingers, and you can play around with those. Chio Walker's been using them. Now, Chio Walker, you have a channel, right? YouTube channel where people can go see you playing around with those, or is this just something that we can't see a sample of? Chio just downloaded DR19, but haven't explored it. That's Tony to Chio. Yeah, that's another good one. Thank you, Tony. Lip sync. A lot of people don't realize that there are lip sync delay settings available in the control software under the audio page. So we'll cover that. So under the audio page, under mic 1 and 2, you have this section right here. You can see I have 4 frames of delay for both mic 1 and mic 2. And you open that up by clicking on the box, and you can do up to 8 frames of delay. Audio travels faster than video, so you're slowing the audio down so the video can catch up, and we will cover that in the video, thanks to Tony. Customizing multi-view. Tony's going to win an award for all these great ideas, him and Chio, and also Gary. Okay, I'll fix this later. This is a continuation of Tony. Okay, it's no longer in beta, Chio says. So that's DaVinci Resolve 19 is no longer in beta. And Chio does have a channel, but he hasn't put any tutorials on his channel yet. Well, come on, Chio, contribute to the rest of us learning. And you are tonight, so I give you a shout out. So great information. I think there's a lot more available for you guys to help me. I do want this to be a collab video, so I will put together a shooting list. I'll probably shoot these segments, not in order, wearing different cool tees. I was actually thinking about doing a series of tees in my video. So any more ideas before we put a wrap on this live stream tonight? So got some great ideas from Chio, great ideas from Tony. Quick Tech Solutions, Chio Walker, great Gary Uris suggestions. No one else chimed in. Joe, nothing from you. Grish, nothing from you. David, if you're still with me, nothing from you on the Extreme ISO Getting Started video. Other people were here tonight. I don't know if you're still listening. Maybe I bored you to tears. Doug was here earlier. So I haven't seen any chat from Doug in a while. Hank was here earlier. Haven't seen any questions from Hank, which is unusual. So ATEM sound settings just pop into mind. So let's put that up under... Chio, didn't I tag in? Yeah, here we go. And obviously audio is an issue because you only have 3.5 input jacks. You can do, you can come up with a way of bringing your main camera in and your audio adapter going into a device that lets you embed audio. That's what I recommend now as often as I can. I do come out of my Rodecaster Pro directly into my ATEM using an adapter, but in reality, the better audio would be coming directly from the Extreme or the ATEM Mini Pro into a audio embedder. What is that? Come into it HDMI, and you also come into it right and left 1/4 inch balanced usually. And then that embeds the audio, and you want to do that so they're in sync. The challenge with doing that is sometimes they won't be in sync, and they do. Roland actually makes a device that gives you the ability to do audio lip sync delay again. So I can do it in the ATEM control software and do lip sync delay, and that's where I line up my lips with my Rodecaster Pro. So what you're seeing right now is 4 frames of delay on my Rodecaster Pro audio, so my lips are in line with the audio. Let me know if they look like they are in line. Okay, well, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. No, probably an hour, solid hour of us talking about the 2 topics tonight. If there's no more advice on what I should have in this outline, we will call it a night. So let me give it a couple more seconds. Thank you guys so much for your input and helping me with this whole idea of having a outline, things to cover. I can tell you right now, there's about 35 things that I want to cover in my video series. And I have a list. I will go through my list and write down all of these things. And my goal is also to give you guys a shout out in the video from my live stream channel. And hopefully some of those people that find that video series will come and hang out with us on Tuesday night. So hopefully that's been a catch-up live stream tonight. You've got a chance to see my tribe, my Canon Tribe of cameras, 3 cameras, 7 lenses, 3 flashes, some straps and different things, Canon camera batteries that are native. They're about $100 a piece. I think you can buy them for like $85 now. You can buy Canon knockoffs for less, but I don't recommend them. You can also buy dummy batteries, which is what I use. I have 2 Canon dummy batteries and then an off-label brand, and I use those dummy batteries. They all seem to work perfectly fine. What is a dummy battery? You can plug it into your camera and then also plug it into the wall, so you're not having to use batteries when you're live streaming. And I also use those when I'm doing video production. When I have time, sometimes I just grab batteries because I'm not doing a long interview. But anyway. Okay, so that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to update your control software. My battery on my microphone just attached to that. 9.6.1 is the latest update. It does not have a firmware attached to it, but it might have firmware for the streaming bridge. So that's what it was specifically for. So Blackmagic did come out today, August 25th, 2024, with a new update for the ATEM control software, which is what we're using to switch videos and different cameras tonight. So evidently there's some bug patches, bug fixes, and the ability to make sure you don't have an issue losing HyperDeck low, medium, and high recording in your control software. That bug's been fixed according to Blackmagic Design 9.6.1, and then also issues that they were having with the streaming bridge. So when I get off the air tonight or maybe in the morning, I will double check and see if there is a firmware update for the streaming bridge. I don't leave a USB-C cable plugged into my streaming bridge, so I'll have to plug it into my laptop so that I can actually do a firmware update if there is one available. So, okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for helping me with my outline. I will take all this stuff under consideration and do my best to incorporate these things into my new video series and give you guys a shout out and credit and tonight's Q&A for that. So if you have any questions that you need to ask me, again, go over to my contact page, fill that form out. I copied that link let me go into my channel here real quick and into tonight's video, and I will add it to the notes before I go, but don't want to mess up any of tonight's recording by accident. So I don't see any more chat. There's Hank. He's still here. He's just listening. Okay, Hank, you didn't have any questions or anything that you would like to have me include in my ATEM Extreme ISO Getting Started video series. And Hank, if you do, you have my email. Please send me those ideas for things for me to cover. I do want it to be a collab, and I do want it to cover those things that you guys have. I actually decide I will be making a Blackmagic Design cloud account. I will be using those features. I'm also going to see if I can't do some HyperDeck recording in that video series directly to my hard drives here in my studio through the network capability of the HyperDeck now. And we may even try to explore the SRT feature. You can now do a beta SRT stream. So may talk to Tony or some of you guys about how that might be able to be used. Okay, the poll is going to officially close. It's 50-50, 16 votes. Have you changed camera manufacturers after starting to shoot with another branded kit? So I have, like I said, 7 lenses, 3 Canon bodies, 3 Canon flashes, a bunch of batteries, and I've never changed my major camera brand, but 50% of you guys say you have. Thanks for answering that poll. That's good information. And it's kind of cool that we're at 50-50. 50% said yes, they've changed brands. 50% said no, and 16 people voted. I am ending the poll. It is officially over. Thank you so much. Doug is still here. Well, good to know that. Doug is still here. Hank is still here. And Gary, thank you as well for joining me tonight. These streams are a lot more fun when you guys come hang out with me. Now, keep in mind, I do have some plans to have some guests in the studio. If I can pull it off, we may even have one of my clients on a Zoom call in a conversation and looking at his new YouTube channel and his new podcast. That may happen in the next couple weeks. So watch the still images. They're posted usually before noon on Tuesdays. So that gives you 4 hours to plan. Rarely am I not online, so I'll give you guys heads up when I'm leaving on vacation. Right now, my vacation is planned for January, so we have lots of time until then. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking these videos. If you haven't liked the video yet, please hit the like button. It really helps these videos get out to more people. Achio said he started with Canon, but it only been 4 years, so I like you. I started in my 40s. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Chio, about being in our 40s and 50s and 60s. Maybe it's going through midlife crisis, or maybe we finally do some of the things that we've always wanted to do instead of be out on the water in our boat or fishing and all those other things that we do when we're younger. When we get older, I don't motocross anymore. I don't do a lot of the crazy stuff I did when I was younger. So when you get older, maybe that's when you start doing things like cameras and things like that, collecting things, car restorations, all those crazy, building houses, designing your house, doing studios in your garage, who knows, but it's a lot of fun. So it's great to be with you guys as usual. Thank you so much. My name is Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I'll see you all very soon here on the channel. Until then, be safe. Get ready. It's going to be an interesting fall, but summer is still here for a few more days. So enjoy it while it lasts. Peace.